The next way to focus on what's most important is to choose the right thing and not the easy thing. I think a wonderful tool to help us do that is the serenity prayer. God, give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I know when our older son was getting in trouble and got into drugs and alcohol, serenity prayer was a useful tool for me to help me keep focused on what's important. And sometimes I had to choose the serenity to let go of something I couldn't control and to step back from the situation. And other times we had to make some choices, I think, that did take some courage. And when you have to put, your teenage son, and after talking to him, into a residential recovery program, that's hard. But the serenity prayer is just a tool to help us, ask God for His wisdom to keep us focused on the right thing. Another way to focus on what's more important more of the time is to choose something great rather than just good. Many people have read the book by Jim Collins called Good to Great. And, that's where he really embellishes this concept. But he points out that it's easy for us to go a lifetime doing things that are just good, not great. But instead, we can find a life that has more purpose and significance. And life can become an adventure because I think we're all meant to do great things. We're all designed for a life of significance. And one way to think about how do we pursue that is this concept of finding our calling. And by that, I don't mean one specific role or job or vocation or even a ministry, right, that defines us, but how were we designed and what experiences did God allow us to do? And therefore, what are the types of things we feel called to do? When I left IBM after 38 years to found Steps Ministries, that was actually a multi-year journey where I was trying to figure out where was God calling me. Again, I leaned on what experiences did He allow me to go through? How had He designed me? And where did I feel pulled toward? So seeking to follow our calling is a good way to work on what's most important. And then finally, we could choose what matters, rather than what's just urgent. You've heard the term the tyranny of the urgent because it can be that way, right? And by the way, there can also be the tyranny of the mundane, right? We can spend time in email or other endeavors that really aren't that important, but we just rather do them. But so we have to watch out for those things. And I think a great tool to help us fix that is to come up with a life plan. Now, ask yourself, have you ever written down a life plan, or do you have one now?